is going to be, again, at Tombow Bowl on the lanes, it's going to be the arrows. So if you've ever wondered what there's some dots, more dots right there, but those are for targeting, so you can have, you can know where you're hitting, and it will be consistent instead of having to figure out, like if you go here, over there, and then you go down the middle, you would have to figure it out. Or you could have a specific target at the arrows, and then you could do that. So in today's tutorial, we're going to talk about the arrows. We're just going to have a quick talk about what the arrows do, how to approach them and stuff. So here we go. So those triangular things that don't have a triangular point, they're kind of flat from this angle, but basically these little dots right here match them, and that also helps with the approach. There's more dots down there, but those are also for your approach, but we're going to talk down the lane. So since I can't get on the lane, I'm going to talk for those from these dots. So there's 39 boards in total. Each dot or arrow represents 5 boards. So here's 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 39. Or that last board and that last board. So there's 39 total boards. What these boards can do is, I'll throw some balls down so you can see for examples. But if I was targeting at, let's say, the 16 or 17 board, basically those boards are in this, between this arrow and this arrow, but since this arrow or dot is the board 15, it would be one board over, 16, 17. That's where I would be targeting on these lanes. So that's just the quick introduction, and let's hop right into it. You have these dots. If you'll come look closer, you have these dots, they match with the arrows, and this basically helps where you stand. So if, let's say it's a long pattern, then you would want to throw more over here, and just make sure throughout the games, they'll start breaking down, so you might want to move more over here, but you want to make sure that you stand consistently in the same spot. So I mainly stand for like everything right here. So I always stand right here with my feet, like with my left foot on basically the last dot, and some bowling alleys don't have the last dot and they only have this. So I would either count 5 boards and then do it, or just align the board. So I usually have my left foot on the last dot and then my right foot in between them. So, okay. So this is what it would look like. As you saw, I kind of slipped because I don't have a ball to counterbalance myself, but that's what it would look like, just standing at basically the end and then going. Now sometimes if it's like a dry lane or something, you might want to stand further over and loft the ball. And loft means basically to have it in the air, because if you bowl it flat, it would technically go in the gutter. So that's also one thing that you want to do. Now let's hop into bowling. Okay, so here I have my pitch purple, and I'm just going to throw it, like I said up there, 16 and 17, or at least I'm going to try, because sometimes it might slip off your hand, and you're just going to have to adjust to that. But I'm going to stand right where I normally always stand, and then aim for the 16 and 17 board. So right here, and then, oh, also, these lanes are pretty dry, so I'm going to think about going more behind the ball, like I did in practice. So here we go. Well, I synced it. However, you saw that I kind of hit maybe the 19 or 20 board. So since I had it more to the left, I put less spin on it because I knew that it might end up more left to my breakpoint board. So I put less spin on it so it wouldn't overhook. So that's one thing that I'm really good at, is adjusting after something goes wrong. So let's just do it again. And then hopefully this time hit 16, 17. so these lanes, they're tricky for me to get to the right, but this is actually a good opportunity to talk about when you missed your target, like completely. I completely missed my target. I hit like 19 and 20 on that side, not where a right-hander wants to shoot. So when you miss your target, that's just a good opportunity to know, so is it slipping? Am I doing my approach right? Am I sticking? Okay, so I'm still gonna use my pitch purple and I'm gonna act like it's a strike shot because I still have the 1, 3, 6, 10, and that's the pocket for right-handers. So stand in the same spot, try to aim at 16 and 17. Yes. Okay, I did hit 16 and 17. However, I saw that it almost fell into the gutter and it went light. So I'm either gonna think about putting more revs on it so it can hook more, or moving my target. I'm probably gonna move my target and do it at, try 17 and 18. So we're getting rid of 16 and adding 18. Okay, so now since I changed my target, I'm gonna aim at 17 and 18. As you saw, that hit dead 17, 18. Probably 17 and a half, I say. But that was a really good ball. It still kind of got out, but I think that was a good ball because it hit the pocket. So now we're going to talk about plastic arrows since I have a 10 pin up. So for my 10 pin, normally I miss it because it curves. So that's one thing I want to practice, is getting really behind the ball. And also, you might want to have a little curve because if you aim dead at the middle arrow, it's going to have time to get on the last board and just kind of ride it. So you want to have like this much hook. You don't want to have a lot. And for 10 pins, I usually don't stand right here. I usually stand over. Okay, so since I have a 10 pin, you see I'm not standing here. I mean, I could and do a back of ball, but it's a lot better to go as the crow flies or cross alley straight. And then for the 7 pin, I mean, you could stand here and hook it in, but it would just be better to stand here and chunk it towards the 7 pin. So I'm gonna go do the 10 pin. Here we go. Okay, so standing a little bit over, because it's the 10 pin. See, as you saw, it would have went in the gutter if I went completely behind the ball, or I did a back of ball. So I had just like a tiny bit of spin, so it would ride that board and get the 10 pin. So for my 7 pins, what I aim at is like probably the 3rd arrow or the 15th board, because I have it kind of hook in. And then for my 10 pin, I just aim dead center, the middle arrow for lefties or righties. So I have just the 7 pin now, and I'm gonna think about going maybe middle arrow, but probably like 17 or 18 board, like my strike shot, but for a spare. So I'm gonna stand right here. I'm not gonna stand right here because if it slips to the right of my hand, like if it slips that way, it could go in the gutter. So I don't want that to happen. I'm just gonna stand right here and then aim as the crow flies or straight to the 7 pin. As you saw, that's kind of how I pick up my 7 pin, not 7-10. I don't really go straight. I kind of go 15th board or something, maybe a little bit over like 17, and I just hook it in. That's how I pick up my 7 pins. So that'll wrap it up for today's video, but let's quickly recap. So these dots represent the arrows, and the arrows have boards in between them. There's 39 boards in total and 7 arrows. So that's gonna help you target, and then it goes And then as of the approach, these dots also represent the arrows and they can help you target. And that'll wrap it up. Like I said, we'll see you next video.